Hello, welcome back to another video of Scholastic Sam. This is our first math video, and we're doing this on the subject of Algebra 2. Algebra 2 is just math involving variables, and I thought that systems of equations would be a good place to start. Now, systems of equations are two or more equations involving two or more variables being set to a certain amount. Now, systems of equations, we're just trying to take equations and find the variables, which are the coordinates to where these equations, the graphs of these equations intersect. So if we have two equations, if we graph those out, where will they intercept? That's what systems of equation finds out. Now, you take the equations and you solve for the variables in them, and you can do this by two ways. You can do, our first one we're going to learn about is substitution. Now, substitution is when you set one variable in terms of another to simplify the system of equation. For example, if you have y equals x plus 1, and in your second one you have 2y, you could substitute that in and get 2 quantity x plus 1 or 2x plus 2. Now what you do is you move the variables around through changing both sides, and you can move them around until you get a way where one variable is equal to something in terms of another one, meaning that you have y in terms of a problem with an equation with x, or x in a problem with the equation of y. Now, elimination is the other one. Elimination and substitution can both be used, but usually one is going to be better, and substitution is usually easier when you have a problem equal to a variable. So for example, the problem would be minus 2x plus 1, and the variable would be y. So now we have our practice problem. Y equals negative 2x plus 1, and 3 equals 6y plus 3x. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the coordinates to where the graph negative 2x plus 1 and the graph or the graph y equals negative 2x plus 1 and the graph 3 equals 6y plus 3x. We're trying to find out the coordinates at which they intercept. So by using substitution, we can find out the x and y variables, which are the x and y coordinates. So first, I see that y is equal to negative 2x plus 1, and there's a 6y in the second one. So I'm just going to substitute in y for negative 2x plus 1. So I'll get on here, and I have 3 equals 6, quantity negative 2x plus 1 plus 3x. I multiply that out to get 3 equals negative 12x plus 6 plus 3x. I add 3x and negative 12x to get 3 equals negative 9x plus 6. And I subtract 6 from both sides to get negative 3 equals negative 9x. I divide both sides by negative 9x, and we get x is equivalent to 1/3. And now in order to find out what y is equal to, we just put that back into one of the equations. And it doesn't matter which equation, because the x and y variables are going to, the x and y, what their number is going to be the same for both of them. So let's do the top one. Okay, x is 1/3, negative 2 times 1/3 is going to be negative 2/3, plus 1 is going to be 1/3. So y must be 1/3. Now, proof of concept, I'm just going to substitute it into the second one. 3 equals 6y plus 3x. Well, we know that x is 1/3. 1/3 times 3 is 1. So we have 3 equals 6y plus 1. Subtract 1 from both sides. We get 2 equals 6y. Now, since y is 1/3, 2 equals 6y. So we divide both sides by 6. We get y is 2 over 6, or 1/3. So, and it checks out. So those two equations, their lines on the graph, they will intercept at coordinates 1/3, 1/3. Now let's go into our second method for solving systems of equations. We have elimination. Elimination is when you make one variable, and that variable, the same variable in the second equation, those add up to 0. Now, it means that they cancel out or eliminate, hence the name elimination. Where you have, let's say you have a negative 4x in the top one and a 4x in the bottom. When you add those two together, they get 0, and thus they don't have an impact on the equation. So then you can just eliminate it. And then you have like one variable is equivalent to a number, and then you get that coordinate. Then you substitute, you put it back in, get both coordinates, and you've solved it. Now, usually it's better to use elimination when there's a problem equal to a number, or the problem is in these two problems with 4x minus 10y and 3x plus 5y. They're equal to 2 and 8, which is a non-variable number. Now, I look at the bottom and I see there's a negative 10y. And I want something that cancels out with it, or something that I can add to negative 10y to get 0. Well, I can add to negative 10y to get 0, I can add plain old 10y. And I see there's a 5y in the top one. 5y times 2 is 10y. So I'm going to multiply that equation by 2. And I'm going to get 6x plus 10y equals 4. Now I just add those two together. I have 4x plus 6x equals 10x. Negative 10y plus 10y cancels out. And we get 8 plus 4 equals 12. So we have 10x equals 12. We divide both sides by 10 to get 12 over 10. And we get x equals 6/5, or 6 over 5. Now let's substitute that back in. We have 3x, or 3 times 6 plus 5, plus 5y equals 2. That's 18 over 5 plus 5y equals 2. Now you guys might be able to do this in your head or manipulate the equation to make it easier, but what I like to do is I just like to multiply it out, and usually you'll have a calculator. So I just like to multiply it out to make it easier. So if I have 18 over 5 plus 5y equals 2, I multiply the whole thing by 5. I get 18 plus 25y equals 10. Now I can subtract 18 from both sides and get 25y equals negative 8. Divide both sides by 25. I get y equals negative 8 over 25. So now we know that in the top one and bottom one, they will intersect at x equals 6/5 and y equals negative 8/25. Now let's just prove this. So up here we have 4x minus 10y. So let's pull up our calculator. We have 6 over 5 times 4. So, 6 over 5 times 6 over 5, 1, 2 times 4. We got 4.8. So we have 4x equals 4.8. So 4.8 minus 10y is going to be 8. So y is just negative 8 over 25, which is 0.32. Multiply that by 10, and we get 3.2. So because we get 3.2 because negative is the same as positive. So we're subtracting 4x minus negative 3.2, because it's supposed to be negative, minus negative 3.2. And since it's minus and negative, it's just plus the positive. So we get 4x, which equals 4.8, minus negative 3.2, which is the same as plus 3.2, equals 8, because we have 4.8 plus 3.2. It's going to be equal to 8. So yeah, that's how you solve systems of equations, through elimination, where you cancel them out, or substitution, when you substitute a variable in for an equation in terms of the other variable. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email me at sammypaulk@icloud.com. And stay tuned for our next math one, which we will be explaining and going over the 9 major parent functions. I'd like to do a shout out to my math teacher, Mr. Barrett, for teaching me all this information. And thank you guys. Bye. And always remember, also, please drop a like, subscribe. It helps grow the channel and helps this knowledge reach more people. And also put in post notifications, because you're going to be learning this stuff all throughout high school. So if you turn on post notifications every time I upload a new video, it will be something that you will be needing in school. You can watch the quick video, and boom, you'll ace high school with ease. So bye, guys. Thank you. And always remember, knowledge is power.